Hi, I'm Jeremy Kirk, Executive Editor with Information Security Media Group. I'm pleased to be speaking with Bryce Boland, former CTO for FireEye in Asia Pacific. Bryce, thank you very much for joining us.
It's great to be here, Jeremy.
So we've heard a lot of talk about AI in security products. Where are we at with this and what types of things are we seeing?
Well, there's a lot of hype around AI, but we are actually seeing a lot of machine learning and deep learning finding its way into security products. And the reasons are mostly economic. There's an enormous amount of data now available. There's also an enormous amount of compute power, and even the algorithms that are needed to be able to do the analytics are now readily available, and so organizations can do experiments, test out algorithms, test out their machine learning models, and start to apply them in real world products very rapidly. So out on the floor here, you'll see a lot of companies have got some level of machine learning. Some of them are using deep learning, and they are actually making a difference in detection and starting to filter out some of the noise, reduce the workload for security operations people.
And the idea with this is to be able to detect events faster, detect ones that are genuine events, to essentially speed that response time, which is so critical in recovery.
Absolutely, but I think one of the fundamental things that you look at with any kind of machine-based automation is reducing the amount of work that needs to be done by human operators. And that's what we're seeing with the successful products. They are finding ways to take complicated security challenges and make them take far less time to complete, helping the analysts to get to the point where they can make a good decision and take action quickly, and in some cases even finding ways to automate some of those responses so they can move on to things that are more complicated to resolve.
So we know how this is going to help defenders, but attackers may also start using AI for their techniques. What do you see is going to happen on that front?
Well, AI techniques, machine learning, deep learning, these are all just technology tools. And as you know, attackers tend to adopt new tools and techniques very rapidly. Most of the techniques that are being used are definitely available to attackers today, and we are seeing attackers using some of them. For example, we see attackers using predictive analytics to try to guess what people's passwords are going to be based on things like previously stolen passwords. We've seen attackers creating fake videos and fake content in videos in order to try to spoof people and make people believe certain things. So we're seeing it being used potentially for information warfare. And frankly, I think every positive use case of AI from a defensive perspective, there's almost always a corollary from an attacker perspective. So if it's using expert systems and machine learning to find vulnerabilities, the attacker can do the same thing. If it's using the same type of technology to find a way to patch a vulnerability, an attacker can use a similar approach to find a way to exploit it. And so attackers are going to be continuing to take advantage of these technologies. And I think the key thing organizations should be thinking about is, how do I adopt those technologies so I can keep pace with the changing and evolving attacker capabilities?
And what do you think security pros should keep an ear out for in the next couple of years in this area?
I think we're going to see more products embedding machine learning into their solutions. I think you're still going to see that there's a challenge for most organizations, which is finding which algorithms and which techniques work best with specific data to actually solve specific problems. I think you're also going to see that most of the solutions that are actually working are relatively narrow in terms of their field of applicability. So you might be solving the problem of, how do I determine if a piece of software is malicious or not? How do I solve the problem of knowing if a VPN connection is potentially malicious or if it's actually a legitimate, genuine connection? Those sorts of problems on their own are important, but they don't cover the full spectrum of challenges. So I think we'll see many more capabilities coming to market based on machine learning, based on data analytics, and as those become more widely applicable, then we'll see automation building out on top of that to try to automate some of the higher level processes like security operations, doing investigations, speeding up those processes as well.
Thank you very much for your insights.
Oh, you're quite welcome, Jeremy. Thank you very much.
I've been speaking with Bryce Boland, former CTO for FireEye in Asia Pacific. For Information Security Media Group, I'm Jeremy Kirk.